Saw the TV Glow is about a teenager Owen who is just trying to make his way through life in the suburbs when his classmates introduce him to a mysterious late night TV show, a vision of a supernatural world beneath their own, and the pale glow of the television. Owen's views of reality begin to crack. This movie is weird, and I wanted to honor that by doing a kind of unique and different review for it. I'm still going to cover everything that I like, parts of it that I might have disliked, but I wanted to honor the creativity and part of this movie that really struck a chord with me, and how unique and inspired of a movie that it was. And it's really something that I haven't seen before. You were able to take away a lot of different messages from it, and some people might come away with completely different messages than other people. I had heard what the director said that this movie was after the fact. I'm like, oh, I can 100% see why that was. And parts of that just didn't click with me while I was watching the movie. Parts of it obviously did, and I understood it, but not everything clicked for me, and I took away something completely different originally, and I still feel like everything that I took away originally is still true, and what the director had called this movie isn't really diminishing what I was able to take away from it. This movie really focuses on depression and life feeling like it's going by way too quick, which is a problem that I think is just natural in most humans. It's not really a problem that I feel like I've had to experience yet. I feel like I've lived quite a lifetime in the past 2 years just alone. But this movie does tackle that, and they do a phenomenal job with it. And the way that they tell this story, it's only an hour and a half long, and they start off with him being young, and it's slow, and his childhood goes by at a very slow pace, and you start to see the time gaps in between every single part of the story, and they start to go by faster and faster. And I just thought that it was a really unique and interesting way to tell the story. You definitely feel the full hour and 30 minutes that this movie is, but I don't really think that that's a bad thing. It's an hour and a half. It gets you in, it gets you out, and it tells a very compelling, very thoughtful, very heartfelt story. And as I mentioned before, the director said that this was basically an allegory for trans people and what trans people feel, because a big part about this character is their lack of identity. They are on the bench, and one of the other characters asks them if they like boys or if they like girls, and they're just like, well, I kind of just like TV shows. Then at the end of the movie, with hindsight, in fact, you really see why they call this a trans allegory, something that most people who are trans are going to be able to take away from that. And I think that that's a really unique message. But if you're not trans, or if you don't see that message, it's still a very, very, very thoughtful movie about depression and how life can feel like it's going by way too fast. And I think that everybody can find some sort of relatability with their parents and a struggle with their parents at some point in their life, because that's becoming more and more of an issue in today's world. All the performances in this movie were great. The way that this movie was shot was absolutely beautiful. There was one specific scene where they're in this inflatable planetarium, and I thought that the camera was going around one of the characters, and I'm like, oh no, that's just the stars and the inflatable planetarium behind her. And it took me a solid 10 to 15 seconds to realize that, and I just thought that that was extremely well done. There's so many shots like that that are just phenomenal. It's a very well acted, well scripted movie. It gets you in, it gets you out, it does everything that it needs to. I can see a lot of people not seeing this movie for what it is, and I think that that's completely fine. But it is important that people do know what this movie was actually meant to be. This movie also had an absolutely phenomenal original score. Another really big message that you can take away from this movie is how you view and consume media through the lens of a very young age, and how your perception of certain things can change as you get older, and how certain types of media and certain ideas, philosophies, and everything else can age really poorly. So I ended up giving this a 3.5 out of 5 stars over on my Letterboxd initially, but I'm probably going to change that to a 4 out of 5 star, just sitting here pondering and thinking about this movie a little bit more. I really do appreciate everything that it was saying, and specifically the final 10 minutes are really haunting. I had a hard time sleeping last night because of what this movie really makes you think about, and how precious time is. And yeah, That's all that I really have. I hope that you guys enjoyed this unique, different style of reviews. Let me know if you liked it down in the comments below. Let me know what you thought of I Saw the TV Glow down in the comments below. Make sure to like, comment, subscribe, all that fun stuff, and we will see you in the next movie review.